Hey there, this is Wythe Marshall from the Stillfleet Studio. We put together a little podcast called Why We Roll, and now we're very proud to be part of the network Podderation. So if you're listening to one of Podderation's other great shows, and you're interested in TTRPGs specifically, that's tabletop role-playing games, you might be interested in our show. Why We Roll is all about how you make TTRPGs, what makes them fun, different kinds of stories you can tell with TTRPGs, and even the business, so the practical advice side. So if any of that sounds appealing, whether you're a GM, you want to design your homebrew game, or you're interested in getting in the industry, why don't you head over to Why We Roll, check us out. We really, really appreciate it, and keep making awesome stuff.
Podcast where everyone is welcome at the table, but of course, as always, even on this episode, no one knows whose turn it is. This is Chris.
And this is Anthony.
And this is episode 568, Top 10 Designers at Their Peak. We like to thank all our Patreon backers for helping us unlock a brand new episode. Thanks, Patreons. You guys are awesome. Hey friends, we are so glad that you've joined us here this week. Not just the Patreons, but everybody out there. Thank you so much for downloading, listening, sharing these episodes with other people. Because again, we want to make games as accessible and inclusive as possible. Because let's be honest, we want to get more people to the table to get these games played. And the more we get them, the better. So for this special week's episode, our feature here, we're going to take a look at some of the best designers out there in tabletop gaming and look at their peaks. Like, what is their game? Like, again, that you want to bring to the table to those people because this is like the height of their ludology.
Right, yeah, like not just the best designers, but the best designers producing their best work.
And again, it's one of those things where you have such limited game time at the table or with new people or your collection. And like you want to be able to collect the master collection, so to speak. And it's really great when you have those games that kind of really emblematic of these great designers and of their skill and their design, because that's really who they are at their best. And getting those games to the table and just be like, bam, this is a Lacerda, for example, or a Wallace or a Feld. And it's so incredibly meaningful to get those games to the table and to have that kind of history and design behind it without having to be like some gigantic game designer who knows everything about everything in design, but you know what the best games are.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to dig into those. These are the designers just killing it, top of their game. If you're going to pick one game from these top 10 designers, this is the one to pick. But and we'll also tell you why. So
100%, because we want you to have that information, and we'll get into that in our feature review. But before we get into that, Anthony, remember last week there was no news from the industry because they didn't do a dumb thing,
right? It was weird, and we were worried that it would explode and be worse the following week. And you're telling me that it's fine?
Fine is a relative term.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, it's good. I guess maybe the thing I should say, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Is that a thing?
What's the good part?
All right. If you want to start with the good part,
good.
We will start
with the good.
Yes. Start the episode with the good. Damn it!
I need good.
Well, Atlas Games, which is a game company that is based in Minnesota, is raising money for the people in Minnesota as they're dealing with, let's say, a very chilling occupation that's happening in their city. And they're doing so by raising money that they're donating from the purchase of games, artwork, and such. And currently they've raised over $6,000. So a lot of people out there we've talked to since have been like, hey, America, like, I've heard of it. And they're like, you guys have a lot of things happening. We're like, definitely. And they're like, especially in Minnesota, like, it seems like some sort of occupied war zone, and people are really getting hurt, and there's a lot of trouble there. And we're like, absolutely. Like, I want to do a thing because, again, like, there are a lot of amazing companies in that area. And, like, again, we our heart breaks for the people and our colleagues out there in the industry out there. Again, we are worried about them and concerned for them. And it's nice to have an opportunity to do something in the tabletop industry to be able to support them. So if you have never purchased or heard of these games, these might be some of the games that you may want to purchase now, because they're good games, but also they do help some great people. So Gloom 2nd Edition, which is one of our friend Will's, one of his favorite games. Once Upon a Time, also a Will favorite game. That's a storytelling game. Dice Miner, Magic Kitty Save the Day. I know Anthony's a big kitty fan.
Oh yeah, right.
he's the kitty guy of the group. Ars Magica, Planega, I'm not sure here. Vicious Gardens, Cultivate, and again, because Anthony's a big cat guy, Cat Stradonets. The board game, because that's a thing. So we have not played all these games, but certainly we will endeavor to play more of these games in the future, because we love when people are out there supporting people in need. So if you have not yet already, please go to atlas-games.com. This is not a paid promotion. We just love when people do good things and support the community. And it's just a good way to give back and to support companies, support people, and to have a voice. And again, we were talking about some of the greatest designers and their greatest games. What if you actually had games in your collection that the money was donated to a good cause? How many games can you actually say that's actually a thing?
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like, why do you own that game? Well, the government was occupying the state of Minnesota, and I figured, what could I do to help? Well, I bought a board game. But no, seriously though, there's a lot of opportunities to do that. There's been a lot of amazing charity events. My wife was actually just watching a concert that she paid for the live stream of, that was out of Minnesota to support similar groups. I participated in one of the podcasts I listened to was running a charity stream a few weeks ago. They're based in Minneapolis, so there's a lot of stuff out there, regardless of your hobbies. But because you're listening to us and you have this hobby, you should check out what Atlas is doing.
Yeah, and we want to support more of that. I mean, tabletop companies, industries, again, it's all about getting people to the table, sharing experiences together, learning from each other, growing together, educating each other, creating third spaces, which we need now more than ever. So anytime ever a company is like, hey, can we take the money that we did for entertainment and do even more with it? We're 100% down with that. And big supporters of all the people out there, because again, a lot of stuff that you're not seeing anymore because there's other distractions happening. There are still a lot of people in need. There's a lot of food need. There's a lot of legal need out there as well, the economy, school systems, and things like that. So whatever you can do, please do, even if it's just sharing this information with other people so that they can also do the things. Plus, you might like the great games that Atlas Games has out there. So, Anthony, that's the good.
Good. Great. I love it. We're done, right? No more notes.
It's a very short episode
Moving
of Board Gamers
on. All right, roll for preview. What we got?
Now we got to do the bad and the ugly.
This stupid country.
Well, we have a theme going, so we got to roll with it. Do you want the bad or the ugly then?
All right, well, let's do them in order, I guess. What's the bad?
Well, yeah, I mean, the bad is, it could possibly be good, but it's still kind of bad. The United States has been causing problems everywhere with their tariffs, especially the Trump administration has been slapping tariffs of random amounts of money onto random places all over the place.
Right.
And that has caused so much problems in the tabletop industry. Obviously, it's caused endless numbers of problems in everywhere else too. But again, the podcast being what it is, we really certainly need to specifically talk about our industry and our friends and people out there.
Mm-hmm.
So now the Supreme Court of the United States recently And again, I'll ask you, Anthony, for more legal positioning here on this.
Oh, yes. I'm an
as far
expert.
as definition is concerned. Well, one of us got a JD, one of us got an MD. You got the JD, I got the MD. So therefore,
Oh, yeah,
you have
that's
to
a
do
thing that happened. Yeah.
It did happen. I remember it. It was just before my alarm went off. Okay, stop.
Okay. Hey, I can't argue with the memories that you hold.
That's true. Those improv classes are not doing any good for you, Anthony. Yes, and.
I'm not going to pretend I have a JD, man.
Oh, come on. You want the MD? I can give you the MD.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Tim, give him your MD. Tim knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if I don't practice, it's all right. I won't get in trouble.
That's right. It's fine. You're not offering legal support. You're just saying that you know a thing. You are a rules lawyer when you play games, man. I'll be honest.
Okay, you know what? I take it all back. You're right.
So, well, on October 20th, the court ruled in a 6-3 decision that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act that the president used to impose tariffs kind of everywhere, but in particular, 145% tariffs on Chinese imports, where the vast majority of tabletop games come from, and that has crippled the industry, and that has put a number of small publishers out of business. And Anthony was saying even prior to the podcast, like we're in, like, at least as far as tabletop's concerned, we're in kind of a weird, strange place, a pause of design and creativity. And a lot of that obviously is because of the tariffs. A lot of that's because of the shipping costs, and everything's come to a screeching halt. So that has been, again, for lack of a better term, there's been relief. It's been shut down. That being said, Trump has come back and said 15% on everybody.
Yeah.
Which is also something supposedly somehow he can legally do for at least the next
150 days, I think.
Yes, I think it's 150 days until the Congress gets involved. And will the Congress do anything to not make that a thing? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either, except I do. I know exactly what will happen. Nothing. So
and so for all of you out there who've paid tariffs to get games from everywhere, including all the different crowdfunding sources, will you ever see that money again?
No.
Because again, no. Spoilers, dude. Spoilers.
Hey,
Come
you
on.
said I got the JD, man. I'm telling you, no, it's not happening.
I thought you took the MD.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, still no.
All right. So, yes. So we don't know where this will be, but generally it continues to be bad that despite the Supreme Court ruling that this is not a thing that we should be doing, it's still a thing that's happening. It's still continuing to do so.
Yeah, it's tough because the whole thing is all the tariffs that were levied before were done under this law from the 70s that basically said if there's a national emergency responding to foreign threats, vague, whatever that means, you can regulate or block certain economic transactions and property interests, right? The original idea of this law was to impose sanctions on countries that were invading or attacking other countries or directly interfering with our national security, not to impose tariffs on literally everybody at whatever rate you felt like, right? And that's what the Supreme Court said. It's like, that's not what that law was designed for. You can't do that, right? However, there are other laws that let the administration impose some tariffs, right? It's just not 145%. Like, it's 15%. It's kind of the cap. They do have a time limit on that. We'll see if Congress decides to extend it. I would imagine no at this point, but
they do control both houses.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, the stock market tanked today just based on him being all capricious. So I don't know. We'll see. Did
it go below 50,000 so we can talk about things now?
Yeah, it's at 48. So.
Oh, good. We could talk about things.
Yeah,
now.
no, everything's terrible again. It's okay. We're at 48.
If it was over 50, I couldn't talk about this.
I know. If we're over 50, everything's perfect.
There you go.
So who knows? That's 5 months from now, and in congressional terms, that's eternity. Like, nobody does anything in 5 months. So sometime in the middle of summer, things will happen, or not. Probably not.
Sure,
but we'll see. It's a mess. No one knows what's going on because, of course, that's just. It seems by design at this point.
It's capricious at the best.
Yeah, it's random. 15% on everybody because I'm mad at the Supreme Court. Like, what does that even mean?
Sure. Well, it means a lot of uncertainty for publishers
Right.
out there, and when there's uncertainty, they tend to hold stuff back because they need to, or obviously, as consumers, we pay more for things
Yeah.
with no relief. Even if these things get overturned, there's no relief for us, and there's no relief for the companies that closed, and there may not even necessarily be relief for those companies that took the damage, took the hit, because I don't know and or believe that they'll actually receive that money back to kind of bring them to a normal state of affairs. And certainly for a lot of people out there who's new to tabletop gaming or just getting in, and there are people out there like you might be listening to the podcast for the very first time. I mean, like, hey, this is a thing I might be interested in. Oh dear God, the prices are so high and I can't get the games that I want to get. And like, yes, we are very sorry about that. That being said, I guess the one good note here, and I want to seriously compliment our colleagues, the publishers, the designers, all the people out there in the industry who have fought the government on this issue. They did not stand idly by and let this hit them. They did lobby, they did put lawsuits together and so forth, a whole bunch of different things. So, and they've stood out in the industry as far as like fighting back here. And again, I guess because it's, as a community, we have a love and passion for tabletop games, and so does the publishers and designers. So, yeah, it's still bad. it's still a bad thing, and we don't know if and when that's going to stop. But please stick with us. Hopefully, the emergency will pass. Hopefully, supposedly, kind of, eventually.
Hey, just
sort of.
What are we gonna do? I don't know.
It's a thing. Now, Anthony, on the ugly side, since we only have the ugly side stuff left, and again, I'm pulling from Board Game Wire here, so just giving some references. Tabletop industry veteran Ryan Dancy loses AEG COO job after saying AI can generate game ideas as good as some of his own company designs.
So dumb.
In particular, he called out his company's Tiny Towns and Cupitos games as, like, again, I'm paraphrasing here, that they could just as easily be made by AI.
Yeah. The vibe of the pitch was, oh, why are we so up in arms about AI? AI is a powerful tool. It's going to be here no matter what. It's great. It could do, like, game design is just taking everybody's ideas and funneling them down and building something new with those existing ideas. That's what AI does.
Sure.
What AI can't do is design the marketing plan and pitch the games and build the system, and, like, basically saying, like, our designers are replaceable. We are not. It's the executives of this company that sells the games, which honestly, probably the opposite. So, ideally, no one's replaced. Like, that's my ideal fantasy land, is that no one's replaced by AI, but we're kind of past that at this point. But I at least kudos to AEG deciding, like, hey, that's not the vibe we want to give. That's not our message. That's not our position as a company. So this guy needs to go. Because it shouldn't be the position of any company that peddles creative products that AI can replace any of their creatives. But Hollywood is not doing that, but it's great that the game industry is, at least some of them are at least drawing a line there.
Yeah, and obviously he's also calling out Flip 7 designer Eric Olson. And that's kind of surprising because, again, that's a very new, hot game with a lot of attention and awards attached to it. And look, mechanics are out there and available, and a lot of what AI does best is it takes already existing, as you said, Anthony, mechanics and products and things like that, scrapes all those together and gives you a product. At no time is that a product of a designer, of an artisan who's created that to provide a fun, entertaining, educational kind of experience.
Right.
And having been in the tabletop industry for quite some time, myself, I know you, and I know probably everybody else listening, it is the human element of those games, even if it is slightly flawed in its design or has particular issues here and there. Like, it's that custom-made human design element of play that AI is never really going to be able to capture. Because it's just... It's what it means to be human, is to play, right? To engage with the world with an openness, a sense of awe, to melt and bleed into the game and take part into the thematic experience. Yeah, you could put the moves together for chess, but that doesn't make that kind of play experience.
Yeah, I think what's most frustrating about all this is that not that he's like, oh, an AI could think up a game. Like, sure, an AI could think up a lot of things. Again, blending other stuff together. It's the idea that the game is not more than the combination of the mechanics, right?
Sure.
It is the imbuing of human creativity and practice and development, and like it's a process. Like I talk to my students about this all the time. Like, writing is not output, it's process. If you replace the process with the machine, the output is irrelevant because there's no process involved. There's no humanity in it. Like, you're not building anything, you're just producing something. We're not like smelting iron here. We're producing ideas
Yeah.
that convey a piece of our humanity to the rest of society. And that's what we're trying to do. And obviously some designers are trying to make money, but a lot of them are just trying to convey an idea that they had, right?
Yeah.
And to say that a machine could do that as well or better is insulting. It's demeaning. It's misses the point of anything that we're doing. And the games wouldn't be as good because for a million reasons.
Yes.
Right. So it is frustrating to hear this from anybody in any creative field, whether it's board games or film or music. Music's got a huge issue right now with AI. Spotify's full of AI junk. It even podcasts. There's a lot of AI podcasts out right now. So don't listen to those. Listen to us.
It's true.
But it's just we produce things not to be productive. We produce things to express who we are and what we've learned and where we've come from, and for the people in the business roles to roll that down into an object of production that they can then sell, which is what they're doing, I'm sure. But to equivocate that with a machine that can replace it, that's the line that I think collectively we need to not cross. And I think a lot of people are on board with that, and I'm glad to see that at least AEG is on board with that. Yeah. Hopefully we can stay on board with that. It doesn't change over time.
Now, this is not the first time Darcy has said something incredibly controversial and problematic. If you remember, not that long ago, Anthony, he had some comments about female game designers.
Oh, this guy.
He's the same guy.
Wow. Yeah, and he kept his job after that.
And that was about 3 years ago at that point. And
yeah.
Elizabeth Hargrave had to respond to this. We've talked about this. And his comments, again, were generally about male game designers, and how they were, in a lot of ways, again, I don't want to paraphrase too much of this because, again, this is all in the article, but how females are not positioned or socialized in a way that will make them successful as game designers, and that the game designs by men are what the industry really wants.
Gross.
And Elizabeth Hargrave, who's like hardcore amazing game designer, I mean, Wingspan is just the least of it. She came out, obviously, and she, rightfully so, made him apologize, I guess, on some level for that. But certainly this is not the first time. This is not the last time. And it's quite sad to see. This is why it's the ugly part of it, because, this man's been around for, 30 years. And I'm sure he's put together a lot of positive stuff. And this is just another example of just completely missing the point and misunderstanding the industry and the community. And we've talked about this a lot. Gaming, just generally, and especially tabletop gaming, what's wonderful and unique about it and profitable about it is its community. And if you do not understand its community, and you do not understand the designers, right? This is an industry where the designer's name need to be on the cover, and when they're not, it's kind of a red flag. And again, also new voices, like having more women in the industry publish games, more designers of all different backgrounds who have been historically underrepresented to publish games. You're missing out on the values and the colors and the beauty and the wonder and the fun of tabletop games. Yeah. So I don't know what you're doing here.
No. Well, that's the thing, is he doesn't know either. So that's why he lost his job.
I mean, again, Elizabeth Hargrave, publishing games with AEG. Like, how do you miss that marvel of a game designer and just say things like that? Or, How do you been in the industry for so many years and see the wondrous, imaginative, creative artisans producing games and go, yeah, I could do that. Like, it's just a really bad. It's such a terribly bad take that I'm not surprised that it was the last straw.
Yeah.
But it's surprisingly maybe they kept him on for another 3 years. But I don't know. I guess look, AI is great for a lot of things it can do, but there's just things it's not going to replace on any level ever.
Most things.
Yeah, and I don't know. This is just it's just another very sad example of the industry because again, when you put stuff out like that, then you're just kind of condoning people to do that, right? Like they just want to now produce games through AI because companies are going to do that because again, companies want to replace workers. So
it all comes down to the bottom line. Yeah,
it does.
It's sad.
Are you saying capitalism? I'm saying capitalism. Capitalism.
Yeah. And stage capitalism. We're all yeah.
Woo!
We're dying.
It's a thing. All right. Well, that's what's happening in the industry, the good, the bad, and ugly. Let's move on to some of the fun stuff, Anthony. Let's roll for preview.
All right. So I'm going to roll for preview on a game that I know most from playing with my children.
Sure.
But there's a big, expensive, sprawling new edition of it coming to GameFound in a day or so.
Wait a minute. A big, sprawling new edition on GameFound?
I know. Who would have thought?
Whoa, dude.
Hold on. You know what? Woo! Guess who it's from? It's from Awakened Realms.
So no, come on.
Never would that happen.
Oh, that was like a long shot. Where, how?
That company? Really?
Jeez.
So let's talk about Labyrinth Chronicles.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So Labyrinth is a game that I've had for many, many years. I got this game when my son was like 5 or 6 years old. You have little tiles you're trying to capture. You have a wizard, and then there's a board, and you can slide tiles in from vertically or horizontally into any row or column, and it pushes everything around and creates different paths. And then you move your wizard along that path to pick up the items that you're trying to capture for your own personal thing. And when you're done, you bring your wizard back. If you get back first with all the items that you're trying to capture, you win. Ta-da! That's the game.
Yay!
So like it's a great game for kids, like spatial awareness and like agency over that space, and try to like it's a matching game, but also with like the movement involved, right? So it's like almost mathematical, but not quite. And both kids loved it. I have 2 or 3 versions of it. I think it's a Pokemon version somewhere in my house. So,
oh jeez,
the Harry Potter version maybe from back in the day.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fun. Like we bring it with on holidays, and they've both grown out of it at this point. My youngest is 11, and nobody's interested in Labyrinth anymore. But it's fun. It's a fun game.
Seems like a very simple, clean, basic kind of design that cannot possibly be upgraded into a mammoth super deluxe version.
Right. So, like, here's the thing. You jump to the GameFound campaign, and the initial picture, like, that's a lot of pieces.
Yes.
A lot of pieces. And you scroll down, and the first thing it says is, one of the most popular board games, 30 million copies sold, 40 years of history. Here's all the awards we've won. Yeah. Like, great. It's an awesome game. It started in 1986 with a Spiel des Jahres nomination. And then they're like, here's all the stuff we added. We've got living 3D with walls and corridors. We've got a replayable design with a campaign inspired by legacy games. It's got a co-op narrative campaign. Multiple game modes in the box. You can play Chronicles or Classic or Meister mode. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, do we need any of that for Labyrinth? For Labyrinth, it's literally a matching game where you move a wizard around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. And like when you look at because you have 3D walls, obviously.
Yeah.
Do they slide the same way? Is everything physically moving in the same way? It looks like it is.
Mm-hmm.
But is it as simple? Is it as accessible? Like, there's no way this is accessible as it was when I was playing with like a 5-year-old.
Sure.
So who is this targeting? Probably people who played this when they were younger. I don't know that, like, if my kids were still young, I would 100% not pick this up for them because it is €89 plus tax and shipping for the core box. So you're talking over $100 for Labyrinth, which is, by the
Sure.
way, $20 and like Target or
Whoa.
Walmart. This is not an expensive game normally. Um, and it adding all these different layers. You have these 3D elements on the board. You have these doors and portals and tokens. It's a lot to keep track of. It is not, I would say, like small child friendly. Which, hey,
Sure.
that's a whole separate thing. You don't have small children, whatever. Um, but at the end of the day, like the core mechanics are kind of the same as they are for small children. And so I guess the big question mark comes in of, is the cooperative chronicles mode redesigning and redeveloping and rebuilding the game enough where it is
Mm-hmm.
accessible to the rest of us, right?
Sure.
It's got like 11 different modules that you can throw in there, these different campaign boxes and campaign sheets.
Sure.
It has a binder, it has cards.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something we need? I don't know. Like, there's not really enough information here to know if that's like what this is. It's just a weird game, I feel like, to upgrade to this level.
Sure.
I know it's like one of the most successful games in modern
Yeah.
German hobby board gaming history, so maybe that's part of it. Like, they're all in Europe and they're like, oh, we have to do Chronicle, like we have to do Labyrinth with the
Sure.
Chronicle version. But as somebody who just plays it with their kids over here in the US, I'm like, what are we doing? What is this? What are we doing?
Well, the 3D terrain is really, I mean, look, there could be a lot of excessive kind of parts here, but like the 3D terrain, like you said, as far as its ability to kind of move easy, I mean, obviously there'll be more of a challenge, right? That
Yeah.
board, the original board has just been around for quite some time and just moves like silk. This is going to have some more challenges, and obviously, I don't know if you're playing this with kids, but 3D terrain, 3D models, 3D figures, a lot more cards, a lot more tokens, and I understand this is like Fireball Island when Restoration Games came out with it. They were like, "Hey, remember that simple game you played as a kid? What if it was super complex and now fitting an adult audience?" Like, yes, but no. And again, Fireball Island kind of burnt out really quick. That didn't do insanely well, I think, like they thought. So, I guess from nostalgia point of view, if you're an adult and you want to get this to the table, whether you're playing this, I don't know if you're still playing this with your family at this point, or you just want to play it for like fun. But yeah, $90, lots of extra additional kind of terrain, looks great. Could be fun, but I don't know who this is for, to be honest with you.
That's the big question. Like, it looks interesting, but it's
Yeah,
like one of those weird in betweens if you're like, this is like if you made like the Muppets, but like in space with lightsabers, and you're like, well, who is
yeah,
this for then? Like, it's
yeah,
a kid thing, but like now they're like, it's a big epic space battle. I don't really understand what I'm looking at here.
sure.
Um, so it might be amazing. I don't know, but it's certainly not something I would spend like $150 on to find out if it's amazing. Um, so and the shipping to the US is 27 euros because they're including customs duties, which is tariffs,
Hmm.
which they have no idea what they'll be. So they're just charging us a bunch of money for shipping, which 100% makes sense from their point as a business decision, but it's something to factor in. So you're looking at like 140 euros for the game shipped. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. So, and yeah, like player powers and all these things. It's a lot. It's a lot. I wish it was a different game.
Sure.
But
It reminds me
it's
of Hero Quest because of like all the additional board furniture and
mm,
settings and trappings. It's just like, I don't know if you needed that, but I guess
no.
if you want to spend the money on it, so
Yeah, I mean, again, this game's been around for like almost 40 years. So,
sure.
or
Hmm.
for 40 years, this is the 40th anniversary edition. If you grew up on this game, this might be spot on for you. Like, I didn't
Sure.
grow up on this game. My kids did. And maybe in 20 years, they'll be like, oh my God, I got to find that 40th anniversary edition of Labyrinth. Like, I've played this game like 100 times, but as a parent with my children. So I don't really have the nostalgia there.
Hmm.
Um, but I imagine if you do, maybe it's a different story. I don't know. So, let me
Well,
know.
it's
Let me know.
we've
If you're like, I grew up on this game, I love it. Let me know.
no, I mean, there's some there. It's smart, right? Like the name recognition obviously always does a great deal of the heavy lifting for marketing purposes, right? Like this game could be anything, right? But since it's Labyrinth, people are going to look at it.
Hmm.
the challenge with a lot of these games, especially with the Kickstarter, GameFound, crowdfunding kind of source ones, is 9 times out of 10, these are lighter games that have had additional components and things kind of like slapped on, glued on, added on, to kind of raise the price to make it look pretty and kind of fun, but functionality, they're not really a thing.
Sure.
So like, for example, I have Tang Garden with the little deluxe pieces and stuff like that. Again, it's just relatively the base version. It could have been cardboard chits on the board and function just as well, if not better, than all of the extra 3D kind of components. So I got a vibe that it might be that thing, but it'll be interesting to see that the initial, if the actual core gameplay is so light that it might even push away that nostalgia that people have for it when you have all the extra stuff kind of like loaded on top of it. Because if you're looking for that kind of feel, you could probably, like you said, pick that game up for $20.
Yeah.
So, but it's an interesting to look at. It looks really pretty. Looks fun. So,
That is true. Production wise, it looks pretty cool. So
yeah, I
we
mean,
shall
Awakened
see.
Realms know how to do things.
Yeah. Like, you want plastic? We got plastic.
They have plastic, man. So, all right, Anthony, for me, for my role for preview here, sorry. Almighty, the Godliest God Game. You are a powerful and moody ancient god. Create, manipulate, and smite puny mortals to earn their belief and glory.
As one does.
As one does. I should also mention this is on another crowdfunding kind of site called Kickstarter. I don't know, like
I don't know it.
It's nostalgic for me. Like I think about back in the day. So I was
oh yeah, back in the day.
So this campaign, which I will talk about, backs fully on March 5th. It's already surpassed its goal. Had a $15,000 goal, which it's set $252,000 at this point.
Yeah.
So this company has already previously put out 4 other campaigns that has been back. This is Keen Bean Studio, and they're probably best known for a lot of their kind of cute little artwork, as far as like Power Vacuum. I think you and I had seen this at PAX Unplugged. I don't know if it wasn't this past year, but it was the year before, Anthony. We had to take a look at this.
Yeah.
And also they done Roll Camera, which is has that kind of, movie kind of theme. So like smaller, fun, cutesy webcomic kind of looking games. This is their kind of more or less kind of their big box game. What's interesting about this and what drew my attention, obviously, is the artwork is adorable. I am a sucker for adorable artwork. So Almighty here, adorable artwork. Now, what you're dealing with, obviously, is you're dealing with all these kind of like quasi-ancient mythologies that come into play. Big fan of that. Asymmetric area control, big fan of that. And then there's a bunch of combos that kind of get played out. So basically the game is you're playing one of the 4 different gods, and each of the gods has a different way in which it plays as far as scoring is concerned. So, throughout the game, you have this kind of long board, which is kind of like, I guess, the Earth. And each of these sections, mortals will kind of be generated. So you'll be generating mortals, your opponents will be generating mortals. I should also mention this is a competitive, a cooperative, and a solo game, which is always a little kind of concerning. But basically, in these different regions in which you're trying to gain not just area control, but score points based upon your particular god, you're playing to cards to all of these different areas. They have different effects based upon your gods. And then obviously victory points win. So you could be the sun god, and you have the sun token. It's going to score you points based on cards that you play in that particular area. There's a love god, and what you're trying to do is obviously put together these mortals together and break them apart to score points. Storms obviously move things, so that's always a thing on the board. And then there's the god of the dead, and you can get a sense of smiting mortals and such. So it looks like a very fun, cute, thumbing, like haha, fun, little thing. But at the same time, it has that asymmetric kind of activities and powers a little bit on the lighter side. I mean, tremendously on the lighter side of like a Spirit Island, where my god can do things to the native people there. And it's fun, and we joke about it because you get to be a jerk to all these people, and it's not any particular religion. It's just kind of silliness. So, Yeah, it's a cute little game. It's not super overly produced, but it's cute produced. I'm going to go with that as a term now. I'm going to mark it and trademark that, Anthony. Cute produced.
Cute produced.
Yeah, I mean, your game was overproduced. This is kind of cute produced.
I like that.
Yeah. So Almighty, the Godliest God Game, is currently on Kickstarter. Check it out if you'd like a cute produced game.
I dig it. There's been a lot of these lately that I feel like we're kind of inundated with God games, not necessarily cute produced games, but
Sure.
God games. So I would gravitate towards a cute produced one.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime it's something's like cute produced, like I feel a little bit better that it's not treading on somebody's particular religious faith or any particular mythology, and we're not really, I think it's fun. I think it just comes down to the fun side of that.
Yeah. You're not making it complicated or
No.
problematic. It's just, what if you were a god of something?
It's true. All right, everyone. So that leads us on to our feature review. Our feature review, of course, is the top 10 game designers at their peak. So certainly we are picking game designers who have wonderful, large liturgies with like great number of fantastic games. And which of these games would possibly be their peaks? And ideally, games that you have hopefully played, hopefully have collected, and hopefully get to the table often. So if you have not played as many games as Anthony and I, God bless you because you're mentally sane. We are not. We have played an extreme large number of games over the years and multiple times on top of which, and we present to you a top 10 list because that's how things are done. And what we believe, you can leave things in the comments, but what we believe are their top peak games.
Yeah. The best of the best from the best of the best, I think.
Whoa, I like that.
Yeah, let's get into why though, because this is obviously subjective, but also maybe not.
We will find out.
Yeah. You gonna argue with us? Bring it on. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's kick it off with our first one here, number 10. Mac Gertz.
Yes,
like Mac Gertz, right?
Love Mac Gertz.
Mac Gertz has designed a bunch of stuff we really like. We got Imperial 2030, Navigador, Antique 2, Transatlantic.
That's cool.
Yeah. But the Mac Gertz at his peak and has been and continues to be Concordia, a game we've talked about a billion times.
Yes.
Including last week. It's the Rondell, but built into a card-based system and the map-based system that all of his games are kind of known for, but it's like a seamless, smooth approach that just works.
Yes, and he's so prolific, and his games are so incredibly smart, and it would be hard to pick which of his games were his peak games if it wasn't for the fact that Concordia certainly stands above and beyond in ways that I don't think anyone predicted. It really transcends so many different kind of gamer types out there. And again, I've talked about this endlessly. I do not own a copy of Concordia, even though it's one of my favorite games of all time. And the reason why is because my friends own it, and they are constantly still to this day bringing this game out.
Right.
And I'm just like, well, I guess I never need to own this because you guys always want to play this game.
Right.
So for me, that really kind of stands out. Because again, he has a wonderful ludology, but like, man, Concordia, like people don't even know. They're like, oh, Concordia. I'm like, do you know that's a Mac Gertz game? And like, Mac Gertz? Like, they think Imperial. They think of those kind of like big, crazy kind of games. And they're like, this is just so overly refined. It's smart. It's fun. Really odd, funny lady on the cover who's just having the best time. So
she is having the best time.
She's having the best time. So the best time on one of the best games of all time, especially from Mac Gertz.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one here. We have kind of an interesting one because you don't hear about this designer as like one of the premier board game designers out there. And the reason for that is because they were associated with Fantasy Flight Games for almost their entire career.
Mm-hmm.
But when you list off the games that they worked on, Hoo boy, right?
Yes.
Corey Kineska,
Yeah, buddy.
first credits with Fantasy Flight Games back in the early 2000s, and from 2006 to 2019 had at least one game every single year, with a credit or partial credit, all of which are bangers.
Yes.
Like, we've got StarCraft, the board game, Battlestar Galactica, Rune Wars, Rune Age, Gears of War, the board game, Mansions of Madness, Eldritch Horror, Star Wars Imperial Assault, Star Wars Destiny, worked on Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, Star Wars Outer Rim. Like, the list goes on and on.
There's more.
Like,
it's crazy.
It's such a long list. This is just the notable list from the bio page. This is like one of the people that made Fantasy Flight what they were for so long was Kineska. And Kineska's still working. Kind of like it's been spun off from Fantasy Flight now, is working on like games like The Initiative and 3000 Scoundrels. But it's not the same, right? We don't have the big box, giant IP based games that we had for so many years. But the game that like captures everything Kineska can do as a designer and just like nails it straight up, and a game for which Kineska is the sole credited designer, because a lot of these are like multiple designers worked on it, is Star Wars Rebellion. Now, Rebellion was announced over 10 years ago.
Crazy.
Which breaks my brain, because I remember when it happened, and I was in Pittsburgh, and we've been doing this podcast already for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, they made a Star Wars board game. You can go back and listen to that.
I predicted it.
You did. Yeah, and then it happened just a few months later.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I remember playing this later that year and being like, I love this game. It's one of the best games ever made. And then this is Kineska taking like these two-player asymmetrical war games and making a Star Wars version, and it's brilliant, and it still is. And it only needed one expansion to be perfected, which for Fantasy Flight is impressive. So
yes.
Star Wars Rebellion, you can still pick it up. It's not out of print. Highly recommended. One of the best. Like, I almost would say you don't have to be a Star Wars fan, but you kind of do. But it's still such a good game.
I mean, look, there's two things here. First and foremost, anytime you take on an IP, right? Like there's that general kind of, belief that like, oh, you use an IP, therefore it kind of gets a bump. I would argue quite the opposite, right? That like you're taking on an IP and you're making the board game version of this, and almost always you're going to get, slapped around pretty hard about the whole thing. And the game itself, as you mentioned, Anthony, is so superior in so many different ways that it could almost be played by non-Star Wars fans. Very similar to War of the Ring, which is, and we've done that for an episode. I think that was a very early episode where you could argue both sides of this. And again, it tells a story. Again, you don't have to know the story. It tells its own story. And it's just fascinating, and just that it's able to do that. And again, the peak that it had to go for, and it reached it. Insane, crazy.
Yeah, no, like for so long we thought we weren't going to get one, and then when we got one, it was one of the best games ever made. It's nuts.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so next up we're going to dive into Cole Worley. Cole Worley Cole Worley had designed a few games, but really came into the consciousness of the world with Root back in 2018. Now, prior to Root, Cole had worked on Pax Pamir and Infamous Traffic, John Company. All of these games were well liked in like the simulation historical gaming communities, but weren't like highly played. But Root was like a whole nother level. To the point now where like Cole has left the company and they've spun off Root. It's a whole separate thing. And since then has not produced a ton of games. We have like Oath came out in 2021, John Company's second edition came out in 2022, and then Arcs in 2024. But the game that really epitomizes Cole's approach to design and like is the perfect kind of encapsulation of that is Pax Pamir second edition. Now Root is higher ranked. It's even higher ranked on my own personal list, the favorites.
Sure.
But Pax Pamir is this perfect blend of historical and gameplay and careful research and design, like visual and physical design, that creates this unique, engaging, beautiful experience that is at times educational, at times terrifying, and at times kind of funny. Like, in a way that I don't think any other designer can really pull off. Like a game about the great game for Afghanistan in the 19th century is one of the most engaging games of all time. Yeah, okay, who can do that except Cole Worley? And sure, Root is effective and fun, but Root has tiny, beautiful, colorful little animals illustrated by Kyle Farron. Pax Pamir is not that.
No, quite the opposite. It's little tiny blocks.
Right. It's like the least, like it is all blocks with and it looks pretty, but it's all very abstracted. So
that game should not work. And also the theme of that game too is just such esoteric kind of history that most people are not aware of.
Right.
And it rocks. It just should not be able to do that with that situation.
It's so good. So yeah, Pax Pamir is like peak Cole Worley, and it's second edition too. Like this is the second pass at it. The first edition was fine. The second edition, it's like a perfect distillation of the system.
Fantastic.
All right, next up we have Simone Luciani, who we've talked about for many years.
We have.
So Simone Luciani, we have so many different games, and Luciani's worked with a lot of different designers. If you go to their kind of design page, you have Daniel Tascini, Virginia Gili, Flaminia Brasini, Nestora Mangoni, like just a bunch of different people they've worked with over the years.
Yes.
The one that we've highlighted here, that we've kind of pulled out from the list, is Grand Austria Hotel from 2015. Now, we've talked about this game in a few different contexts as missing some pieces, not quite being there 100%.
Sure.
Mostly because of like you have a deck of cards and
cards do cards thing.
Cards are going to do cards thing. But I think what really stands out about this game is the uniqueness of the theme. We're running a hotel. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
And the flexibility and variability in which the way you run that hotel, both in the core game and with the expansion. And like, you know, Luciani's designs with Tascini, especially early in his career, are much more focused and much more targeted. Sometimes more unique with different mechanics. So like Zolkin or Marco Polo or Cancel 4. This one's doing something unique and different that not a lot of other games capture. So it stands out in that way. It's got just enough heft to it, just enough crunch to it. It's unique and different in a way that a lot of the newer games are not, which are much more iterative, especially like starting in like 2021 with like Golem and then Toletum and Darwin's Journey. All good games, but not great games. This is kind of that sweet spot for Luciani.
Fantastic.
All right. Next up, one of our favorites, Vital Lacerda.
I've heard of him.
Have you?
I have, just a little bit.
You've also met him.
We did.
Yeah. Lacerda's a fun guy.
He is.
So Lacerda is one of our favorite designers. We've been talking about him for years.
Sure.
Big, heavy games. We get like a new one every year, which is bananas if you think about it. Like, if you look at the ludology, you've got like the Gallerist in 2015, Venios in 2016, Lisboa in 2017, CO2, then Escape Plan, On Mars, Kanban, Weather Machine. Like, it just keeps going. There's something new every year.
And different.
So different.
Yeah.
We're getting a new one later this year that I'm very excited about, the Great Library. And so the thing about Lacerda is it's big, it's heavy, it's crunchy. So what is the epitome of that? Well, it's Lisboa.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So this is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah. Again, Lacerda does different games. It's not just another farming game. It's not just another polyomino game with just a little flair to it. It's a really thoughtful design of a historical situation that proceeds over the generations. So there's multi-use cards. There's activation spots as far as worker placement's concerned. There's a number of different pathways to victory, which is fantastic. There's a lot of open module kind of design as far as the buildings are concerned. And it it has a lot of his other mechanics kind of in place, but this is seemingly his perfection of all of those. And by the end, that you've now rebuilt Lisboa, and you've seen how the generations have contributed to that and all the different political situations. It's one of those games where it has so very much to say and to do, but it never at a point do you feel overwhelmed with doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a perfect distillation of everything else he's done up to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Great designer, great game. All right, next up we have Martin Wallace, another very prolific designer. You look at their Ludology on Board Game Geek, and it's just a very long list of games starting in like 2000. I mean, going back to like 1993, but starting in 2000 and just being like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 games per year.
Crazy.
Laundry list. And one of the things Wallace has always done is iterate, right? Like, it's not just, here's a game, I'm going to move on and do something different. Here's a game idea. How can I adjust this? Here's another game. I'm going to adjust that more. And one of the games that reflects that best, because it's the number 1 ranked game on Board Game Geek, is Brass, specifically Birmingham, but really just the Brass system in general, is really indicative of Wallace as a designer, right? Mm-hmm. It brings in the deck building element. It brings in the card management. Not deck building, but like the card management element. Mm-hmm. The economic engine, the route building, the pick up and deliver elements, all of which go back to like earlier games like 2009 Steam, and just continue to be iterated on over time. The original Brass, 2007, Brass Lancashire.
Yes.
And so many different versions of that developed over the next, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years, leading up to now. And we're getting a whole new version of Brass soon.
Yes. Pittsburgh.
With Pittsburgh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a system that keeps iterating and building. And Birmingham was kind of the epitome of that. But even if you go back to the original, it has all those pieces. It has all those elements. Lancashire is still a great game. Just Birmingham tweaks it a little. And it is the epitome of what Wallace does.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say any better, Anthony. I think it's a brilliant design, and it's number 1 on Board Game Geek, right? It's there by design.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, another favorite designer of ours, Stefan Feld. I've met this guy.
He's tall, right?
He's very tall. Yeah. Looking at a picture of him on Board Game Geek right now, he's like almost a foot taller than Tom Vassell. So,
wow, that's crazy.
He's got a lot of them. So you look at his list. This is a designer for a while that I had all the games of.
Yes.
Like, up through like 2020. I was like, I have all his games. I did it. There's like 25 games.
Yeah.
And then they did the city thing, and we've talked about that at length. That killed it for me because it's so many reissues and reeditions and they're expensive. But the thing about Stefan Feld is he keeps coming back to the well, keeps trying new things. And yes, there is the point salad. There is like a thing that we all recognize that Feld does. Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of other clever, interesting ideas. And there are distillations of point salad that work really, really well. Mm-hmm. And the one that works the best and continues to be his best game.
Yes.
And just epitomizes what he can do as a designer is 2011's The Castles of Burgundy. So the Castle of Burgundy has been out for a long time, obviously, but we've recently gotten a very fancy upgraded edition from Awakened Realms. It was like the first of their big, expensive overhauls of Euros, this thing that they're now doing about twice a year. And it's a point salad, yes, but it's streamlined, it's focused, it's designed really, really smoothly. It's easy to teach in a way that very few of his other games are able to do.
Yeah, 100%. And again, if people come back with criticisms of point salad games, and obviously they're looking at Feld, they just have to play the Castles of Burgundy to see that in that just scoring montage of just like everything kind of rolls into each other, it's just a brilliant design, and it's refined, it's sharp, it's smart, and it's streamlined throughout. So right. There's a reason why it's ranked top for him, but also there's a reason why it's lasted all these years and got the super upgraded version too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next up on the list, number 3 here, we have Splotter. Now, Splotter, who's that? Well, Splotter is the company. Splatterspellen, to be specific.
Yeah.
Designers are Jeroen Duman and Joris Verzinga. And they have just both worked together and designed every game that's been released by Splatterspellen.
Mm-hmm.
So, what makes these games unique? Well, they're highly interactive. They're incredibly deep, and like they're all Euros, but you're hitting each other over the head a lot. Like that's how they design their games. It's not multiplayer solitaire. It's not an optimization puzzle. It's about being efficient and knocking each other around. And the game that captures that the best, the one that really just nails that feeling of, have I been as efficient as possible, but also stopping all of my opponents from doing anything they want to accomplish?
Sure.
Is Food Chain Magnate.
Yes. Again, another game from, that got its super deluxe version of it because it was so well played by so many people. And you can argue this a little bit, but this is one of the most punishing, heavy, crunchy games out there, period.
Yeah. It's 3 to 4 hours long, and you can make a mistake on the first turn that makes you lose the game.
100%. And you have to sit through the rest of those hours.
My first play was like round 2. I was like, oh, and like an hour later, I'm like, oh no. I did that. Now I'm in trouble. Great. I have 2 hours left to lose this game.
And at the same time, it does thematically play well. Like it's not trying to trick you. It's not convoluted. It's not obtuse in any kind of particular way. It's just challenging because it provides an experience where the other players for their Euro game are really at your throat the entire time. Yeah. Like every move that everyone makes is in conflict with you. And what's also so brilliant about the game in particular is it's not like if you're playing 3 players, someone else is kind of getting away with it. Like everyone's constantly. It's such a brilliant design. The initial design of it was great, and again, it didn't need much more. The expansion's fantastic for it's brilliant, a brilliant expansion, the catch-up mechanic, and now obviously the 3D version of it is just cutesy. So
yeah, and the box is too big. Shock and awe. Awaken. Well, it's Lucky Duck Games, but whatever. They're all the same. They made a box too big.
It's got plastic, man. It's a lot of plastic.
Yeah. Why did I buy this? I don't know.
Because it's the top of their games.
Yeah, it is. It's a great game. I have the best version of it. I can't carry it anywhere. Okay. Anybody out there want to come to my house and play Food Chain Magnate?
There you go.
All right, number 2, Mr. Vlada Shavatel, the owner and runner of CGE Games, has designed a bunch of brilliant games. We have Mage Knight, the board game. We have Codenames, which has basically made it so that they can keep doing what they're doing for decades.
Yes.
They've sold millions of copies of Codenames. Galaxy Trucker, Dungeon Pets, Space Alert, great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the game that stands out above and beyond all of those, not just because it's one of the best games ever made, but because of how it represents the interconnectedness of those systems and the humor that kind of undertones Shavatel's best games, is Through the Ages, a new story of civilization.
Yes.
Not only one of the best civilization games ever made, one of the best board game apps ever made, which Shavatel was directly involved in the development of that. Very funny. The rule book for this game is very funny. The gameplay itself, if you think about the rhetorical kind of the flow of the decisions you make and how they interact with each other, there's humor there at all times, and it just makes the game feel buoyant and personal and engaging in a way that a lot of other civilization games are
not. 100%. And again, it's lasted the test of time. And considering the number of civilization games out there, it still stands out. It's still epic in every single way.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And then number 1 on our list, Mr. Eric Lang.
I've heard of him.
Who is best known for his long stint with Simon and all of their big box sprawling games. So some of the biggest ones released, we have Cthulhu, Death May Die. We have Rising Sun. We have Bloodborne, the card game. XCOM, the board game. Arcadia Quest, Star Wars the card game, going back to the Fantasy Flight days, Game of Thrones the card game he worked on as well, Marvel United he worked on. The game that we picked that most epitomizes what makes Eric Lang, working at the top of his game, is Blood Rage.
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Blood Rage. Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's the only game
on a map. It's great.
Yeah. It's the only game in his collection that we make a special effort to pronounce it as such.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the only game in anybody's collection we make a special effort to pronounce as such. Blood Rage came out many years ago. It's been around like 2015, I think. Over 10 years, which is crazy. Recently sold to Tabletop Tycoon, which sad.
Yes.
Simon continuing to kind of fade away. So there's more versions coming of it. People are not super excited about that, but what are you going to do? But the original version, the 2015 edition, is one of the best like standalone crowdfunded games ever released, right? It had upgrades, it had additional pieces, but the core game in its entirety was near perfect. You didn't need all that extra stuff to make the game great. It was just like fun additional stuff, often unbalanced off to the side. And it took several games that Lang had worked on before. Things like Midgard, things like Chaos in the Old World. And, over the course of like the previous 10 years, and it turned those into this like streamlined, fun drafting game in which you are throwing a bunch of Vikings on the map and either trying to kill a bunch of people or get killed by a bunch of people. And just kind of manage the flow of that over the course of 3 rounds. Just such a brilliant, fun, engaging game that I personally don't think that 2 games after this followed up on as well. I know some people disagree with Rising Sun or Ankh, but I think this is the epitome of what Eric Lang can do.
Yeah, I mean the other games are both good games, but they don't rise to the level of Blood Rage. And again, it's stood the test of time. It was a phenomenon when it came out on Kickstarter, and the secondary market was dying to get those expansions and extra pieces, and it was re-released again and again, and it's kind of everywhere. So if you're typically looking about a hybrid game, especially back in the day, that was a Euro game / Ameritrash game, it was Blood Rage. All right, everyone, there you go. A wonderful list of 10 amazing designers and their peak games of all time, at least as far as this episode is concerned. Please try these games out, play these games, get these games to the table, pick these games up. You will not be disappointed, other than the fact that sometimes they're so massive because of the 3D versions, you can't get them out of your house, Anthony. So... Yep. That being said, until you can get to Anthony's house to play the 3D version of Fuche Magnet, this is Chris.
And this is Anthony.
And we'll save you all a seat at the table. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Hey there, Hugh from Podderation here, and if you like today's show, why not have a listen to the All Things Nintendo podcast? Hosted by Brian Shea, former director at Game Informer and lifelong games journalist, the show explores the ins and outs of gaming's oldest company and one of its biggest, featuring interviews, featuring reviews, featuring everything you want to know about the world of Nintendo. If you'd like to learn more, check out our website at podderation.com.